Ooh, spooky. What? What do you want from me? It's Halloween.
I like how you knew. I like how you knew I was looking at you like, what are you doing?
It's Halloween.
Halloween.
It's Spoopy Ho. This is Fanatical Readings Halloween special.
Ooh.
You get 2 stories for the price of none, because you don't pay for this. So we're going to be reading these 2 stories. The first one up is called Push This Button to Release Monsters, written by Brian Berta. As far as we could tell, these were crappy, but that's only from a cursory reading. So
yeah, we don't want to spoil it for ourselves, but we did read the like slight beginning of it just to see.
And you should watch out for that person who's right behind you. Oh, jeez, fucking Christ. No, I think we're okay though.
Okay.
If we get strangled to death, you know.
I mean, it is pretty late.
I mean, stranglers could strangle you at any time.
Yeah, but it's scarier at night.
Yeah, true. So yeah, first one is called Push This Button to Release Monsters, and let's go. I like exploring abandoned places at night with my friends. And, you know, as you do.
Great idea.
It's fun and creepy hobby to do. I mean, you're not wrong. We take flashlights and video cameras with us, and we usually spend at least an hour inside the abandoned place we enter. We sometimes make different dares, such as leaving one of us alone in a dark room or handcuffing one of us to the basement for a little bit.
That's not a good idea.
Kinky. However, after what happened last night, I can safely say that I'm never going to set foot in one again.
Ooh.
Are you spooked?
So spooked. Me and 5 other people decided to investigate a 3-storied abandoned office building.
A lot of 3 whole stories happened in that building.
I guess so. It was more decayed than most of the buildings we explored before. All the paint was peeled off and we could see rotten concrete everywhere. Also, the floor was rotten as well. So you should probably not be in there because you could fall.
Concrete rot?
Not really.
After walking up to the 3rd story, and it's still funny, I know it's written right, but it's funny, we discovered a small box with a red button in it. It read, "Push this button to release monster." Just casually laying in an abandoned... It's an office building. Like, it would be different if it were like a slaughterhouse or like some kind of industrial factory or a dump or something like that. Or Spooky Monsters Are Us.
Yeah. Maybe it's a fucking Spirit of Halloween.
On the back, it said that if you press it, monsters will start appearing. Isn't that what you just said?
That's what the front said. It says it on the back again?
It says the same thing, but just worded differently. However, if you push it again, the monsters disappear. We laughed at it. One of us thought it was a joke,
just
so we
one
pushed
of us.
it.
Just one of us thought it was a joke.
The rest of us were all just like, hey, you're all funny.
Monsters, so great.
You're great, man. We left the button on the 3rd story and continued exploring. What a fucking bunch of... Anyway, suddenly we heard tons of footsteps below us. We were shocked by it. We thought that other people might be here as well, but there were at least several dozen footsteps downstairs.
Several dozen individual footsteps or several dozen sets of footsteps? That is really hard to make out how many sets of footsteps there are.
They're just hopping.
When there's that many, you can't pinpoint an amount. One of us said jokingly, "It's probably the monsters." We laughed a bit. Then one of us moved by the staircase and said in an exaggerated tone, "I can see them." He was laughing a bit. We all laughed as well. Wait, so if you saw the monsters, why are you still laughing? Also, why does no one have a name in this story?
No,
one of us.
No, he didn't say that he actually saw them. He's like, "I see them over there.
I can see them." Okay, so
like, I can
he's
see
faking
them.
it. Okay.
I think.
But like, no one has a name in this story.
But it
This
also
is
said
making
he
it very
laughed a
confusing.
bit, so it makes me think that he actually saw them. I was like, guys, like
a nervous laugh. Like,
I don't fucking...
I can see them.
We're all gonna fucking die. The 6 of us were having a great time making fun of the button. I don't know why that's funny. Suddenly the person who was by the stairs looked back down only for his eyes to get huge. He looked terrified of something. Suddenly a red tentacle grabbed him and pulled him down.
Phil.
We could hear him screaming for help as the monsters tore him apart.
Oh, okay. Wow, okay.
Oh, they meant like in a gory, visceral way. I thought they meant...
But like, there's no sensory description happening there. How do you know he was torn apart? Did you see it happen? Did you hear him being torn apart?
Maybe it was just a horny tentacle.
If you heard him being torn apart but you didn't see him, you might not assume that he's being torn apart. You might just say that there was a crunching or a ripping or a wet sound, and then you looked and you were like, oh, he got ripped apart. I've offended something.
That's what I first thought. He's getting torn apart sexually.
I don't know about that. We ran to the staircase, only to see dozens of giant red monsters with sharp teeth and claws and tentacles. Wait, if you have tentacles, usually you don't have tentacles and claws.
The claws are at the end of the tentacles.
I say you, like I'm talking about people I see every day, protruding out from their bodies. We looked at our friend again, only to see that he was torn into several pieces. Okay, so now you see him torn into several pieces. Give me some description. Like, I want to be repelled.
Also, I don't know about you, but don't you think it'd be scarier if they, like, were more specific?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but I mean, like, they don't have to be like,
give me
I
the
saw
scene.
his guts all over the ground.
Give me
but
the
like,
scene.
you know, you can't just say he was torn into several pieces. That makes it sound like a cartoon. Like,
Yeah.
SpongeBob
Yeah,
getting
like
torn
pieces
in
of
half.
paper.
SpongeBob
Yeah.
getting torn in half.
Yeah, and then he has to hold his hands to do like a weird... Give me some descriptions. Like, was there blood everywhere? Were there just like gory chunks thrown around? Like, were his clothes ripped to shreds? Like, could you see his bones? Like, give me something. Did it smell?
Spook me out.
Suddenly the monsters noticed us, so they started chasing us. We ran across the 3rd floor. Eventually, we discovered a metal door still in good condition. We ran inside it and locked the door. The monsters banged on it for a little while until they settled down.
Settle down, monsters.
I was gonna say, that's it? We're running through the story at full speed. We're not slowing down for any dialogue at all. We're not setting the scene. There's no descriptions. This is a good skeleton of a story, but there's no meat.
I mean, it's not super scary or anything.
No, it's not, because there's no descriptions of anything. We were all freaked out at that point. Suddenly, I remembered the button. I looked through the keyhole to see a monster carrying it to the 2nd floor.
Drat.
Yeah, right? One of us looked out the window. There's a window and they're banging on the door? Hello? One of us looked out the window to see all the monsters locking the doors, preventing us from escaping. So the monsters have the presence of mind to lock the doors. Okay, that's not something I usually see in movies that involve monsters.
Eventually, we decided to use a piece of rope inside the room to rappel down the side of the building. We tied one end of it to a pole in the room and threw the rest of it down the building. It was just long enough to reach the bottom. Of course it was. We decided to go down one at a time. One of us went first. He was descending really fast. Then we got to the 2nd floor, however, a tentacle popped out of the concrete and pulled him through. His blood squirted out of the hole and he was pulled in. He started freaking out again.
Can I pull a physics halt on this?
Why?
He was just like pulled through a hole that was probably a lot smaller than his body, just like that.
I guess so.
That's
why blood was coming out.
There's no action in this story. All of this is passive narration. There's no detail. Like, you're in a room, you're stuck there, and there's not even any looking around the room to see if there's anything helpful. It's just like, we're locked in a room. The monsters took the button downstairs. We really need to get downstairs. We looked out of the window. We could probably get down there if we rappel down. There's a rope. We're just gonna use the rope. Like, what?
And of course you can never have a rope that, like, there's plenty of it left over. It has to just barely touch the ground.
Yeah, like, there's no action in here.
Yeah, I read it as he started freaking out again. Like, damn asshole. He's freaking out when he gets ripped to shreds.
That might have been better, actually.
We then decided that we need to find the button somehow.
You know where it is.
We assumed it would most likely be on the 1st floor. We took one final look at the keyhole for sneaking out.
Why didn't you do that in the first place? If you know the monsters went down to another floor, why would you try to rappel out the window?
We all looked behind us to make sure that none of the monsters were following us. Right after
they're in front of you.
When we got to the staircase, however, we noticed that there were several monsters on the ceiling. Fuck, not even the ceiling's safe.
People never look up in horror movies. There was a whole Doctor Who episode where that was an issue. The monsters were like hanging from the ceiling, but they never looked up there, so they didn't notice.
I mean, how often do you look at your own ceiling? Mine doesn't count. Mine just now doesn't count.
Well, I mean, at home I have a bunk bed and I'm on the top, so I kind of don't have a choice.
We ran for the staircase, but a monster grabbed one of us and with its tentacles and pulled him up. It was ripping him apart.
Just no description. Just
going right into him.
Same old thing. The 3 of us ran to the 2nd floor and locked the door by the staircase to prevent him from going down here.
Yeah.
The doors. There are doors on the staircase. Okay. There are doors on the staircases. That was not a description we were given before because it's a crumbling old building. I just assumed that they were like exposed staircases.
Also, it was a crumbling old building. I wouldn't assume the doors would help them very much.
I would assume that the walls wouldn't help them very much.
Or anything.
We then started running for the 1st floor when suddenly several monsters started chasing us. We were running as fast as we could, but they were catching up to us very quickly. When we got to the staircase, we started closing the door when suddenly a monster grabbed one of our legs and started pulling him out. The 2 of us tried hanging on to him, but the monsters wouldn't let go. We then heard his flesh getting torn off and his bones snapping, one after the other. At least that has a little bit more sensory information where you know that his bones were snapping.
He was screaming in pain. No, really. I would hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so too.
His fucking leg breaks and he's just like, I was fine.
Because nobody else was really screaming. We didn't even get like that description.
With the dog that's in the
With the other
burning
dogs.
building, and he's just like, this is
This is fine. Suddenly, a monster stabbed him in the head with one of its tentacles, killing him. Tentacles
are usually kind of floppy.
And wet and just not sharp. They're like...
It just smacks his tentacle on his head, and he's like, ow.
It's just so much force. The monster's so strong that it just goes through his skull.
He's like, ew, it's all wet in my brain.
Ew. Oh, don't say that. That's grosser than this creepypasta. As soon as we dropped him, he was pulled in. What? Pulled into what?
The door where the monsters were coming after them.
Oh. We quickly locked the door behind us. Yeah, that did you a lot of good the last time you locked the door.
Now we were on the fourth floor. We were looking desperately around for the button when suddenly we noticed the ladder leading down to the basement. Oh, that's a good idea. We ran up to it, up to the basement.
Up to the ladder.
Oh, and decided that it must be down there. We walked down it.
We used our deduction skills.
We couldn't hardly see anything. Couldn't hardly see nothing. Most of our flashlights didn't work that much as well. Most of them.
I forgot they had flashlights.
Suddenly we heard several monsters climbing down the ladder. We moved faster.
I don't know if monsters need to climb down the ladder or if they're dexterous enough to do so.
They just jump down.
Well, I mean, some of them have tentacles. They could probably just swing themselves.
Eventually the hallway we walked across led us to a giant room. With a hallway.
What?
They didn't say anything about a hallway. Whatever. There was a stone table in the center of it with a button on it. Suddenly a tentacle grabbed the guy I was with and tore him in half.
Just one tentacle. Just tore him in half. One
They're
tentacle.
very malleable. I bolted for the table. As I ran, several more monsters were running out of the other entrances. I had to make it there before they did.
I could now feel the tentacles trying to grab my feet. I ran faster. Eventually, I arrived at the stone table. As I reached for the button, a monster grabbed my wrist. I felt several tentacles wrap around my body, slowly pulling me away from the table. That's kinky. I tried to use my other hand to push the button, but I couldn't reach it. Then I grabbed one of our flashlights, which was incredibly bright. So, your flashlights didn't work when you were going down the ladder into the basement, but now it fucking works?
Some of them weren't working. Most of them.
Most of our flashlights didn't work that much.
But his did.
But that one that you managed to hold on to did.
He is the main
MVP.
character.
He's the MVP.
Main very character.
It doesn't start with P.
A character.
It's a silent P. Like in Phil. It's arguably a silent.
I guess so. And H.
It's a consonant digraph. I pointed it at the monsters behind me and turned it on, shining it directly in their
Right,
eyes.
they have eyes now?
Yes, they had eyes the whole time.
I thought they were just disembodied tentacles.
Well, they didn't give any descriptions. It was pretty much just tentacles
Disembodied.
and some claws.
Flop, flop.
But they didn't really mention the claws that much. It's all been tentacles. Every one of them, now that I think about it. That's like someone is putting some unconscious thoughts in here. They didn't let go, but I got them to loosen up just enough for me to reach the table again. They tried grabbing me one last time, but before they were able to do so, I hit the button.
Right as I pushed it, all the monsters disappeared. I walked out of the basement to find the front door was now unlocked. I then left the house and ran back to my house. Nobody knew that we were with each other, as we would sneak off at night without ever telling anyone.
That should have been a detail in the beginning of the
For
story.
that reason, I didn't get in trouble. Oh, good for you. Your friends are all dead, but at least you didn't get in trouble. However, I've been haunted by this experience my entire life. I will never forget this night. Another masterpiece written by Brian Berta.
Sorry, Brian.
Nope.
I did not appreciate the story. I think there are several things you could do to improve your writing, such as give a description of anything ever and use something other than tentacles. Although I get that's probably what you're into. There's no shame in that. You should probably diversify your monsters a little bit, unless all of the monsters were some kind of sea creature-like.
And also make your story a little more believable.
Yes.
That would probably be a good sign.
If you have people in your story, they should speak, because humans do
They should have
that.
names?
Humans do that, yes. They should have names.
These are like
they
your
should
best friends,
talk
apparently,
to each other.
but they have no names.
There's no active language in here. It's just, this is a series of things that happen in a row.
And it's not in a believable way.
No, not at all. There are a lot of things we need to work on, Brian.
I give this story 1 bat out of like 7.
Wait, out of 7? Not out of 5 or out of 10? Like a nice round, understandable number? You have to go with 7?
Fine, I give it 3/4 of a bat out of 7.
Okay.
Like, you don't give it anything?
I would give this 1 bat out of 10 bats.
Oof.
So this is like 10% because you actually did write words in complete sentences.
Oof.
So you got the basics down.
That's
This
quite-
one actually had pretty good grammar and spelling as far as the stories we've read, but the content was bare.
I mean, when your best, positive criticism is you put words on the page.
You put words on the page, they were in complete sentences.
That's
Your
not
spelling
saying
and your
much.
grammar were pretty good. Yeah, no. Adjectives and adverbs are a thing.
That's like you
Those
shot
are-
the movie and it was in focus. That's a good job.
Yeah. See, you have nouns and verbs and
That's about it. Were you scared by the story?
no, I was
not
not
even a
scared.
little bit.
I couldn't be scared of something that I can't visualize. The best visual we got in the entire story was screaming. The 2 very bare lines of dialogue that were in the beginning about like, hey guys, it's the monsters. The
Which you
building.
didn't even understand at first.
And,
So
and the very small description of the building in the beginning as well, which all we got was the floor was rotted and the building
concrete was rotted.
the concrete was rotted and the floor was rotted. But you could have used that in the plot. You definitely could have. Monsters could have come up through holes in the ground, or people could have fallen through holes in the ground, or stepped on floor that looked like solid but ended up collapsing. That would have been a good story. Better than that thing that didn't have any details in it.
Calm down, Caitlin. It's just a story. It's just a crappy story on the internet.
I'm not like upset. I'm just
disappointed.
yes.
All right, so the next one is called Someone is Spying on Me by Grand Albert.
That was actually pretty creepy. This is already a step up from the last one just because of that. We'll get to that.
It is happening from several days.
Maybe I
The
spoke
first
too
time
soon.
I was sitting in the living room reading a book.
In the leaving room.
The living room, when I heard a noise outside my window. When I looked up, there was nothing there.
There was nothing, comma, there.
Also, wait, does he sit right across from his window?
I don't know.
Like he sits in front of his window and reads, so he's just able to go, yep, nothing.
Yeah, maybe he's got a window seat. I would love a window seat. That would be a cute little reading nook.
I know, most people don't do that, though.
No,
Their
most
chairs
people
kind
don't.
of like
Face into the room instead of out of the room.
Yeah. Anyway, I got up to check it out. Oh, so he did have to get up to check it out.
Okay.
I looked out of my window and I saw shoe prints coming and others getting away. So the prints were running away. They were getting out.
Getting away? You mean they're going away?
So I realized that someone was there and that he probably was spying on me. I spent the rest of the day in a subtle disquiet. Nothing else happened.
I'm sorry, I was confused by your change of tone/accent, and then that threw me off.
The next day, I had almost completely forgotten about it all. But while I was washing my teeth...
Wait, I had almost completely forget about it.
But while I was washing my teeth...
English your first language? Albert, is English your first language?
All I think is like getting to the shower,
Yeah, soap.
I noticed the lights in my restroom suddenly grow dim, as if a cloud was passing in front of the sun.
There are so many different tenses. Noticed is past tense. Suddenly grow is present tense. Was passing is past progressive.
And also, your light in your bathroom got dim, as if a cloud was passing in front of the sun. That's, I don't know, awkward.
Yeah, it's an awkward
It's not even
comparison.
wrong, it's just awkward.
Yeah, because the light inside is different from the light outside. Like, I know what you're trying to say, but you did not need that clause right there.
Or like someone was at my window.
Which is a sentence fragment.
So, wait.
You can't start a sentence with
light-
or as a conjunction.
So wait, I'm confused. So he had his light in his restroom grow dim. As if
Usually, when you say grow,
well, okay.
that implies more.
It became dim, the
or
light
it
in his bathroom.
dimmed. You could have just said dimmed.
Yeah, but the light dimmed, right?
Yes.
But apparently he said like someone was standing in his window. That doesn't make any sense. How would someone standing in your window make your light
I
get
think
dim?
he's not talking about a light fixture. I think he's talking about the amount of light in the room suddenly got dimmed.
Well,
as
that's
if someone was
confusing.
blocking light that was coming in through the window. But I don't
That's not
know
how
what
you
time
word
of
that.
day it is.
That's not how you word that.
I don't know what time of day it is because it's the next day, but I don't know if it's dark out or if it's light out or if it's...
Wait, it's the next day?
Yeah, the next day I had almost completely forget about it all when I was washing my
Wait a
teeth.
minute. So wait a minute. He's
I almost completely forget about it all and I was washing my teeth.
no, but I have a problem with. So he's like, oh, somebody's spying on me. Went to bed.
I guess.
They'll go away, I guess.
I mean, maybe he didn't call the police because he was like, I only have evidence of this happening one time. Maybe it's not someone spying on me. Maybe someone was just like walking by and stood there for a minute and then left. Maybe it's not a spy. Maybe it was just a weird happenstance.
Paralyzed by fear, I checked my mirror to try to spot what was blocking the sunlight without turning, so I guess it's the middle of the day or something.
Something like that.
To not let the mysterious stalker that I noticed his presence, but
I'm
I
missing
only
a verb there.
managed to spot something black. I began to slowly turn my head. When I was halfway through, I looked at the window in an instant to catch him by surprise, but he disappeared in a second. I hastily shut my window and stood there, catching my breath. Then I got out to check things out, but no one was there except for the shoe prints.
That's like 2 or 3 sentences.
And also, like, halves of sentences.
Yeah, we need to work on this. I'll help you with the grammar, Albert. I'll help you. Thanks to a relative of mine who works in a police station, I managed to... There's tense problems again. I managed to obtain to place my house under police observation for 3 days. I don't think it works like that.
I managed to place my house under police investigation for 3 days.
However, since nothing happened, the police halted the observation and the commissioner suggested me to see a psychiatrist.
Like you do.
At first, I thought he was right, but that very same night I saw a shadow in the dark outside my window trying to get in my bedroom when I was about to fall asleep. I remained in bed, holding my breath in terror. The shadow got in and began to search through my drawers, ignoring that I was fully awake.
Panty drawer.
You're gonna miss the panty raid. He was about to open the bedroom door to probably check the other rooms, but I accidentally pushed over the bottle of water I keep on my night table and he fled. I called the police, but they didn't listen to me.
I mean...
I thought you were holding your breath in terror. Why are you touching your night table and your water bottle?
Oh, fuck.
I'm so thirsty. I'm so terrified. I'm so thirsty. I need to take a drink.
The police didn't listen to you. That a robber broke into your house. I thought they're all about stopping shit like that.
I would hope so, especially since he's gone to them before about this problem.
I guess maybe that's why they don't believe him.
Disbelieving adults is a staple in horror movies and other horror
Also, I want to point out,
genres.
I mean, maybe not all, but like, isn't it really common that like if someone breaks into someone's house and they catch someone, they just kill them?
In some places, there are laws against that. In Florida, if someone comes on your property
No, I don't mean, like
Yeah.
the robber kills the person whose house it is.
Oh, I don't know. But he didn't kill. He didn't even make.
Yeah, he just
any
runs
move.
away. He's like,
Yeah, he
fuck
didn't
this.
even make any move to harm or physically interfere with this
just going through his
main
panty
character
drawer.
at all. Yeah, apparently. I went back to bed, thinking of what to do, but shortly after I heard noises outside my front door. I got up with my heart racing and I went to check outside through the peephole. In the dim light of... Shh. Well, now that we're paused, is this the same night? Like,
They said he went
the
back to
person
bed.
ran away. He went back to, like, did you call the police?
Don't you have friends you could like go to the house of?
Yeah, I would leave. I would have left days ago.
This is like some fucking Ethan Hawke in Sinister shit where he's like, gotta keep writing my book. And then at the end, he's like, okay, fuck it. We don't gotta write the book anymore. Get out of here.
Yes. Is that the one with Detective So-and-so?
Deputy so-and-so.
Yes, I love that guy.
And he just
And then he gets his own, he gets no recognition or name in the second movie. And I was like, I kind of love that they continued that joke because I thought it was brilliant. But no, like, I think he had this happen, got really scared after the guy ran out, called the police. They were like, nah, fuck you. And then he goes back to bed thinking of what to do.
Whatever.
And then the same night, he's hearing noises outside his front door now.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's not exactly surprising that he'd be hearing noises outside his front door.
Well, no, not necessarily. I live right off of a pretty busy
No, I'm talking about,
throughway,
like-
so I hear noises all the time.
Well, no, I meant like he just had someone break into his house. Like, don't you think they'd try to come back?
Probably, which is why he should have fucking left.
Fucking idiot.
I know! In the dim light of one of my garden lamps, I saw a strangely... You can't use the word strange twice in a row. You can't.
Strange and strangely
A
proportioned.
strangely proportioned shape out of my door, fumbling with the lock.
Oh, fuck it. Look, I can't get this fucking
Is he
thing.
trying to pick it? Didn't he come in through the windows before? How come he's not doing that now?
Although I was in fear.
Although I was in fear, I beat on my door and the odd shape ran away, while a whirring could be heard. I couldn't see his face. Maybe I was lucky. I don't think that's lucky.
I barely slept at all that night, but I made use of the hours I spent awake thinking of a way to convince everyone that I wasn't crazy. Everyone? Like, who's everybody in
You've
this?
talked to no one except the police. Also, no dialogue in this story either.
Who's everybody?
Very passive.
Who's everybody? Is he literally like going to door being like, I'm not crazy?
I don't know, maybe.
I needed proofs.
Are we doing math?
The morning after I took a pill, I asked a friend of mine to lend me his camera. He told me that I could keep it only until the next morning as he was going on holiday.
Do we need that backstory?
And needed it to make movies of his vacation. I told him that one day was more than sufficient.
Did he
Oh,
really
we have
say it that way?
a good vocab word in here now.
He's like, I'm gonna need that camera back. I'm going. He's like, one day will be more than sufficient.
It does
Okay,
sound a little.
buddy.
It does sound a little bit pretentious.
That evening, I lowered all the shutters, placed the camera outside, pointing my front door, switched it on. Your front door? You switched your front door on? Programmed it to take a picture every 30 seconds and went to bed.
That is too long of a time period in between, I think.
Yeah. I knew the mysterious guy wouldn't try to break into my house since the shutters were lowered. Okay.
What do you mean shutters were lowered? Like you put the shutters on the windows or you took them away from the windows? Because I don't know how shutters work. Aren't shutters the ones that go like this? They go in?
I forget.
I don't know. I'm not smart enough for this.
I don't think anyone's smart enough for this person.
Way past midnight, I heard footsteps around my house, but I was very sleepy. Wait, whoa. This has been an issue that's plaguing you for days, and you're gonna hear footsteps around your house and
like,
not get up?
She's like, come kill me. Who gives a shit?
Fuck it, there's a camera.
He's just like, I've lived a life. That's fine.
I've lived a good life. I knew this has been coming for days now.
Who cares?
But I was very sleepy, and shortly after I fell asleep for good. The morning after, I got up and checked the camera, trembling.
I guess he was very sleepy, so.
Okay, well, I mean, obviously nothing happened, so I guess he was okay. Here is one of the photos of the camera took. Wait, one of the photos the camera took.
And on the page is just a black.
It's just black.
Yeah, I'm not great when it comes to cameras, or maybe it was because I was nervous, but I forgot to remove the lens cap. Wow. And my friend took it with him, like we agreed.
It being the camera, not the lens cap.
Just the lens, here you go. It could lend me it again, only after a week, unfortunately. 7 more days of distress, of which I thought I would never see the end. Barricaded in my own house, with the doors locked and the windows closed and every shutter lowered most of the time.
This has been an issue going on every day, sometimes multiple times in the same day, and you're gonna stay in your house by yourself with no way of monitoring what's going on, no way of proving that someone is in your house.
That's that pussy shit. No.
No one even coming by to check on you.
No.
Don't you work? Don't you have to eat?
He's a writer. He's a stay-at-home writer.
How do you have food? You need to go grocery shopping. This is
He
real
orders
life.
it all from Peapod, like me. He just gets it delivered.
Or Uber Eats.
Yeah, he gets all his stuff delivered. I could still feel the unwanted presence outside my house, though, due to the odd noises I could hear. There was a moment when I thought that I could gladly give away my priceless jewelry collection if it could. When? Whatever.
It was rifling through your drawers. I feel like it would have taken it if it wanted it.
Yeah, if it could help me to get rid of the being, or at least know who or what it was.
The week has passed, though, and my friend was so kind to lend me his camera again, even if he doesn't believe to a word I say. Now we're in present tense, and now yesterday evening, so now we're in past tense again, so...
Don't even question.
Yesterday evening, I set it up exactly like I did the first time. Then the lack of sleep won over the anxiety, and I fell sound asleep.
That was actually like a halfway decent
sentence. Yeah, I agree.
The sleep won over the anxiety, like some wordplay in there.
Yeah, I like it a little bit.
I give that one part like a 9 out of 10. Just that one sentence, though.
It's like 1.5 bats out of 7.
That's a pretty shitty rating.
It's like a 2 or a 3 out of 10. I don't math. We've already established that. And now here I am with the camera in my hand, one step from finally know who is the one who stalks me, but I am too scared to watch. So now we're breaking the fourth wall. Can you look and tell me what you see in the comments? This is one of the camera shots where I see there isn't just dark. Wait for it to load. Here it is.
It was the penguin the whole time. It's literally like a picture of Danny DeVito as the penguin.
Is it? I never actually saw that movie. He's a gay boy at your door. This actually scared me until it said I forgot to remove the lens cap.
This was better. These two were better than the whole story.
Be a gay boy at your door.
You didn't do that on a shirt. So I don't know if this one might have been a troll on purpose. The fact that it ends with Danny DeVito.
Probably.
Danny DeVito's a bit of a meme at this point, so.
I like it though. I kind of like the picture. It's creepy. It looks like I'm about to get eaten by a shark.
I mean, it's also true that there wasn't really much resolution to this story.
There wasn't any resolution.
There wasn't any progress of events.
He just said, here's the picture that I took. Can you tell me what it is? I'm too scared to look at it. So we have no idea what happens after he took this picture.
Yeah, it could have been right behind him and eats him.
Yeah, we have no idea who this person is, why he keeps coming around, why he broke in and was rifling through the dude's possessions instead of attacking him, why he had a 7-day opportunity to do anything and
like
didn't.
Murder him.
He had to wait until there was a camera. And why is he looking into the camera directly?
I mean, as far as we know from what is provided in the story, this guy could just be a burglar.
Maybe, but the picture's kind of creeping me out now. Like, I feel like the longer I look at it, the more opportunity it's going to be that it's going to fucking, like, move and crawl out of the screen. So if we could move away from that.
So, what do you give our second spoopy?
2 bats out of 10.
Oh, it was slightly better.
I feel like there was a little bit more that I could grab onto, but it still, there were unnecessary parts. There were parts that we needed and didn't have. The grammar and spelling needed to be fixed.
Not very scary.
It wasn't very scary. It was trying to build up the suspense. I get that. So that's why I gave it a little bit of a leeway, but I can't see either of these being on my bestsellers list.
I don't know about you, but this gives me more respect for good stuff. Like Sinister is like really good, especially compared to something like this.
I know. Do you remember the first time we watched Sinister together? Like the first time I had ever seen it was with you. We were in your dorm room and it was like the middle of the day, but I think you had like thick curtains, so it wasn't actually light in the room. We had all the lights off. We're watching this in the dark, and then Andrew walked in the middle of the movie unannounced, and you jumped so badly that you made me jump.
That happened in the second one too. Do you remember that? We were all there, and then like
somebody walked in.
Or no, I jumped like at one part, and
oh yeah, because we saw the second one in theaters. We did. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Not as good, but it was still a good time, I thought.
Yeah, because Andrew was sitting on one side of me, and you were sitting on the other side of me. And Andrew, the music had been building, and the suspense had been building in the scene, and we knew something was about to happen. So I was stealing myself. Andrew actually had the gall to lean over me and watch you for a second, because he knew you were gonna jump. He was waiting for it. He was just like waiting for Phil to freak out. And when you did, it was not a letdown. You jumped and you scared me because I was sitting right next to you. And then I made Andrew jump because he wasn't expecting me to jump so bad, because I have really bad reactions. Like when you jumped, you made me jump, but like 3 times more intensely. And that scared Andrew because he wasn't expecting me to like pretty much slam into his shoulder. So he was like, what the fuck?
So anyway, happy Halloween, everyone. This has been PXKM Productions, Fanatical Readings Halloween Special. Thank you, Caitlin. Peace out.
Watch a good horror movie.